Hello and welcome to this special episode of the Bright Balloon Podcast. My name is Sarah Meyer and I help you make more money and eliminate stress in your balloon business. And this week I am podcasting live from the International Balloon Convention brought to us by Sempertex. So I am in Orlando, Florida, and I am podcasting in person with some of my friends, some new friends, and there will be many more episodes to come. It's always really fun sitting down in person and having these conversations. But today I am joined with a longtime friend of the podcast, Joette, who is the owner of Balloon Coach. And today she is representing the CRC, or the Coalition for Responsible Celebrations. So if you have ever wondered about balloon bans, balloon releases, or legislation that is being brought up to ban the sale of balloons in specific communities, that is what the CRC is helping fight. So Joette is talking on their behalf about what we can do as balloon professionals to support this organization so that they can continue to support us. So let's jump into this week's episode with Joette from Balloon Coach. All right, welcome back once again, Joette, Balloon Coach. You are here wearing another hat today. You are speaking about the CRC, which... what is that? The Coalition for Responsible Celebrations?
That is correct. You got it.
And you are not employed by them.
I
You
am
are just
not.
passionate about this organization and this topic.
Yes, I signed up as an ambassador where you paid $100 a year to be able to be a part of a committee to kind of hear what's going on with CRC and to help decorators have a voice in the program. Because right now it's based on distributors and manufacturers that are paying $5,000 to $100,000 a year.
Wow.
And I let the CRC know that there was no way that the basic balloon decorator is going to have that type of finance, but maybe they could put $100 towards it to then help with all of the things that are going on with the CRC.
Okay, cool. So you are representing us to the CRC. High level, what do they do?
Yeah, so it used to be the Balloon Council.
Okay.
And we knew it as there are balloon bans that some people don't even know happen, that around the United States and other places around the world, there are people that will go out to their legislation in their city or their state and say, we want to ban the sale and use of balloons.
Yeah, because they think like, oh, they're going to go in the ocean and all the turtles are going to die. But
Exactly.
they just mix up helium balloons in the sky with like everything we do, which is mostly air-filled.
Yeah. And so, the normal consumer doesn't understand that there are air-filled balloons on frames that are not going to go flying anyway.
Yeah.
So they always just think, oh, every balloon's filled with helium and it's going to, cause damage to the environment.
Yeah. Okay. So then someone who wants to save the turtles, I'm not rolling my eyes at the turtles, but they're not dying from all the balloons,
Right.
like someone thinks it's a good idea to just ban all balloons, and it goes to who? When it says like we're fighting this, like who is making those rules?
Yeah. So what's happening, it can even be a kid in like middle school doing a report for school, and then they go to their city council.
Yeah.
And they get put to speak at their city council. Then here's a report that Johnny wrote. And it's like, hey, because of the sea turtles dying on our oceans, we want to ban the balloons here in blank, blank coast city. And, it can go by in like a couple of weeks to a month. Like it happens really, really fast.
Right.
So the CRC the funding goes to having Maria and some other people that are able to use technology to find out when those keywords are coming up online.
Okay.
Where there's a ban that's going to go through and where somebody's proposing a ban, so that they can then get balloon decorators and businesses in the party industry to be able to go and speak at those local events.
Yeah.
And so what happens as ballooncoach.com, with me knowing balloon professionals from all over, I will get calls from the CRC and they'll be like, hey, Joette, do you know anybody in this city and state? And I'm like, I don't know everyone in the balloon industry. Like I can't. And so what we're asking people to do is to go to the CRC website and to sign up to be, even if you're a free level ambassador, it allows us to have you in the database so that the CRC can go and like, oh, okay, your city, we need you to come talk on this date at this place. Because city councils, bottom line is, they want to have the businesses succeed in their city, right?
Yeah.
So if you live in a city where they're proposing a ban and you can show how it's going to negatively affect your business, now they're going to listen to that.
Right. They're
Right.
not trying to be bad people. They're not trying to kill our business, but if they think they're doing something good and beneficial for the environment and no one from the balloon world comes to speak up, why wouldn't they vote for that, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Quick pause, because if you're running a small business and you feel like your brain is holding open 1,000 tiny tabs, this is for you. One of the biggest shifts that I've made in my business and that I've seen successful decorators make over and over is moving from doing everything manually to having a real system behind the scenes. That's why 17 Hats is our exclusive YouTube sponsor for 2026. 17 Hats puts your inquiries, contracts, invoices, questionnaires, emails, and workflows all in one place so you're not chasing clients, forgetting follow ups, or reinventing the wheel every single time someone books. Instead of asking, did I send that and what comes next? Your business just works. The best part, it doesn't make your business feel more robotic. It actually frees you up to do things that you are meant to do, like be creative, work with clients, spend time with your family, and all with less stress. If you're ready to stop duct taping systems together and start operating like a real business, head to 17hats.com to check it out. Once you have a system, everything else gets easier. All right, let's jump back in. So what are our steps? You said we go to the CRC website. What actually is that?
So you want to go online to coalitionforresponsiblecelebration.org.
Okay.
And then on that, it'll ask you become a member. And they have it where you can apply to be an advocate ambassador, which is totally free, or you can be a leader ambassador, which is $100 a year.
Okay.
And again, that is a bargain when you're looking at our distributors and manufacturers and other people in the industry are paying $5,000 to $100,000 a year to support this. So I'm saying one
Yeah.
column.
Well, and I'm glad you said that because I actually had a little bit of resistance to this at first because I was like, why are we, the little men, paying for this when the manufacturers, they control the plastic or non-plastic bags, the shipping materials, what's
Yeah.
in these balloons. Like we don't actually control that. So they should be paying too. But you're telling me they are. Like
Yes.
they have a lot of skin in the game too. They also don't want balloon bans, I would assume.
Exactly. And the Coalition for Responsible Celebration, that is open up to the party industry.
Okay.
So it's also the people who are making party supplies and other things. High Float is a member.
Okay.
And then here at this event with Sempertex, we've got all kinds of distributors that are a part of it. And the bottom line is the CRC is only 2 years old.
Okay.
So they're having their second annual event in November of 2025. And I've been asked to be a panelist there to speak out for the balloon industry. And so what I'm doing is I'm paneling my friends and also the people who are part of Balloon Blast Mastermind and other people that I've worked with in the industry to find out like how often are you losing a job because somebody has an environmental concern.
Mm.
And what's happened over the years is a lot of people have worked for large corporations that they were doing things on a monthly or quarterly basis. And now they're being told by a committee from that place that, hey, we can no longer do balloons because they're not sustainable. And it's like, that's such false information.
Yeah.
And so what we're hoping to do with CRC is to be able to work together with many of the distributors and their social media people and other people that are concerned to come up with what is the correct phrasing that us as the
Yeah.
end user can go, hey, to our client, here's how we want to educate you about, no, we don't do balloon releases and this is why. But balloons are not horrible for the industry. They're air filled. It's a thin layer of latex, or a thin layer of foil. So when you look at that as far as how people can decorate for their celebrations, corporations are being the smartest if they use balloons.
Yeah. You
Because we
can fill a lot of space. Yep.
Exactly. So it's just trying to have a group of people come together where we can have that one common message that we can then put across the entire industry so we all can answer those. When people are concerned that they're not going to buy from you,
Yeah.
let's have the correct information to educate them to maybe help change those minds at their corporations to work with us.
Yeah, and I think resources would be great because for a while it was like, oh, these balloons are completely biodegradable. And then it was like, well, no, they're not. We're not supposed to say that anymore, but that's what we were told. So we're not the scientists in there. We don't know what things are made out of. So I think having those resources would be helpful for like the end user, which I see as us or our clients.
Right.
Let's talk about that for a second. What are some suggestions that decorators can do to kind of, I guess, better take care of the environment? Like, what are some practices that we should be doing regardless of involvement with environmentalists or CRC or whatever? Like, how should we best be taking care of our planet when it comes to balloons?
Yeah, number one, just as a business owner, is when people ask you that, hey, I would like to order 100 loose helium balloons on string. Oh, okay. What is that you're going to be using that for? Oh, we're doing a celebration of life and we're going to release them at the end. Oh, man, I am so sorry for your loss.
Yeah.
But what we do instead, and then offer other things that can be a memorial that aren't go away because for so all of my life. I saw it on movies, we've seen it on TV. So just educating our customer that, like, in many places it's against the law to do that. Not only just us trying to be environmentally responsible, but there's actually laws against it.
Yeah.
And so giving them other suggestions. So that's the number one if you're doing helium. Number two is like, how can you reuse other things
Mm.
in your business? So I was with Tammy Corzine in Ohio recently, hanging out at her business. And so when she gets like a foil balloon and the packaging has like the picture of the mermaid on it, and
Yeah.
then there's like a plastic sleeve that you can undo the sleeve rather than cutting it, and then you can put it back. Well, so now what she does is she can repackage things that maybe you get foils in bulk and have like 10 foils. She can fold that up and then put it back into that
Oh, okay.
package and now put it back on her party stores, hooks, without having to just throw that packaging away.
Yeah.
Um, Taking that little piece of paper that's inside of there, flipping it over and using it to write your notes.
Yeah.
I mean, so like being able to reuse a lot of the products that we have.
One of my little favorite hacks with that, which I thought you were going to say, is I don't know where I saw this first, but taking the picture of the balloon and you cut it out, and then that's the gift tag.
Yes.
So like if you're delivering this bouquet with this mermaid, but then the tag coordinates with the same exact mermaid, it looks so
Yes.
polished. It looks like it came together, which it did, but not in that way. So I
Yeah.
think that's like a fun way to repurpose too.
Oh, I love that. And then when you're ever going to do a takedown and you have a lot of balloons, maybe instead of popping them,
Hmm.
you can do the two things. You're saving the environment a little bit because you're not throwing it in the trash yet. Go and repurpose that for a local nursing home, a shelter for kids, a woman's battered shelter, whatever. Find places in your community that you want to support that you can then reuse some of the balloons rather than popping them and give them a second life.
Yeah.
Or even with foil balloons, I've had foil balloons 10 years
Yeah.
that I've
Right.
reused them over and over again with my corporate clients, to be able to continue to use that product rather than putting it in the landfill. With the foil balloons, how we can pop them or cut them out and then use it to wrap around your weights to make them really fun. So there's so many things. And so just to think, okay, I'm about to throw something away. Is there another life that it can live?
Yeah.
What else can I do with it?
I love that. I love that. I have one final question. No right or wrong. I'm just curious because within our own industry, we'll see a post on Instagram of a balloon release from a company. Do you say something as another balloon person? Do you say something as balloon coach? Do you like how do you politely tell someone who may not know or who may not care that like, hey, you're making us all look really bad here. Like, take this down right away.
Yeah, I am the number one person that will call people, and I won't put it out publicly. I will message them or I'll phone call them and be like, hey, I noticed that you just did a balloon release. Are you aware that in many cities and states, they're actually against the law?
Yeah.
Or part two, here's where it happened with our industry. And many people don't know about how many years the balloon industry has been having to battle legally
Mm-hmm.
for there not to be bans of,
Mm-hmm.
and it's honestly, it's not about just helium balloons. There are places that have actually banned the sale and use of balloons. So that means you can't buy them. So like if you have a party store and it's all you do is sell balloons, you no longer have something that you can sell.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I do love to educate people. I know. And then what my hope is with CRC is I was talking to some of the marketing managers here is that I want us to come up with the right wording so that we can come up with national campaigns where we can have the right words that go out there, where we all have a media kit where we can then send that out to our local TV and radio
Mm-hmm.
prior to graduation season and educate. And then it gives you a foot in the door to be expert in your area and
Yeah.
balloons. It can maybe some marketing on what you do with balloons also, but then to help educate because so many people do still see it on TV when there's a memorial or they see it on, movies.
Yeah.
And so just helping educate like, hey, that's not what we do. And here's some other alternatives that we can do instead using
Right.
balloons.
Oh, and I think it's hard too because I feel like most commonly the balloon releases are done for someone who's passed away.
Yes.
So it's hard. It's like a double whammy to be like, no, you can't have that. Also, so sorry that someone died. Like it's just,
Yes.
it's like, oh, it's just such a hard position to be in. But I think if we don't take that stance, like none of us will have businesses very quickly.
Exactly. And that's the whole thing that I always say is, people say, oh, well, it doesn't harm things, Joette. We go ahead and we use the twine that will disintegrate and all that stuff. I said, it's not about that. It's about what the appearance is of to other people.
Hmm.
And then also, like, another thing, like, just even when you're being responsible about tethering big 3-foot balloons.
Right, right.
My dad was a pilot, and I'm like, "Okay, let me explain to you what happens when that big long line comes apart and it goes around some purpose propeller and you've got a plane going down." Like,
Yeah, right.
but bottom line with the environment is just helping educate people, and if we can work together on all putting $100 in as decorators, it then allows us to have more money for the resources for them to help stand up for our industry.
Yeah.
And then it also gives you an opportunity to be a voice and put your input into as we create these ideas and concepts for education.
Yeah, and I think there are people doing it really well, probably in areas where they care the most. Tammy from Funny Faces Balloons in Madison, she's right by me. It's a very green
Yes.
town. So she drives like an electric vehicle. She ties her balloons instead of just like kind of wrapping around the pole. She ties all 4 balloons together. So if one pops, they don't all fly away. Like she is,
Got it.
really great. But I think we're all going to have to be at that level if we don't do what we can now. There's other areas where like they do not care, but I think if we just kind of sink to the lowest expectation, then, it's going to get away from us. So I think doing those little things, even just like, oh, we'll come and dispose of all the balloons for you. You don't even have to do it. That like it almost eliminates that thought process of like what happens to all of
Yes.
this, all of these balloons after the fact. I think the more that we can take care of our customers and take care of the balloons and make sure that the foils are being recycled, however you do it, little changes can really shift that narrative.
That is a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, every little step counts, and I think it's just when you be a part of an organization that is working on the same goal together and you're able to put input, then it's gonna be able to affect our industry as a whole.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for representing them and for being here in person at the International Balloon Convention. And you are, again, you don't work for the CRC. You are just passionate about this. You do work for yourself, though. So go ahead and promote what your actual job is.
So I am ballooncoach.com, and I help overwhelmed balloon professionals, um, get take care of the overwhelm and then create an excellent income and help them thrive.
Yeah. And I can't think of anything more overwhelming than like your city council trying to ban balloons, and that's how you make your living. So you are advocating for all of us. And I thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks
so
for being
much.
back again.
Thanks, Sarah.